Hey y'all, Ms. B, and I want to talk about Nelly and Ashanti's Peacock show, We Belong Together. I completely disagree. Y'all don't belong together. Y'all don't even go here, in the words of Mean Girls. First, I want to say Nelly seems to come off as a very antiquated, old school, patriarchy, the word, y'all know the word I'm looking for, type of man. I'm not going to go in any type of order. I'm just going to go by things that I wrote down and things that I feel. First of all, Nelly, you don't want to change diapers. Nelly, you hear your baby crying and you in the bed with him and you don't want to get up. That's giving. Did you even want to have this baby? Do you love your son? So I noticed the difference between how he treats his previous kids, and I'm not sure how that mother, whoever that mother was, handled that, but how he handled it is with Ashanti, it's a bad look. I also want to say, Ashanti, you made too many concessions for Nelly. The fact that y'all got married and had a baby, y'all don't know where y'all want to stay. The fact that you okay with this man now want to change diapers, that's okay. I understand it is your baby, and trust me, I'm a mother, and I don't think men understand the toll it takes on a woman to carry a whole human being. Then after that, deal with the emotions of that, and then also still have a career. Nelly, you were okay popping when I was in high school, but the way you move these last couple years, I wasn't seeing for you. We saw Ashanti all on the internet, or her natural body doing all her big one, and then she got back with you. We saw the verses where y'all hugged, and I guess that brought that old thing back. I also want to say, Nelly, you jealous of your baby? I've heard this for many years from different women. It's like, once I had the baby, he wasn't attracted to me no more. Or once I had the baby, he wanted to figure out when I was gonna be done with the baby. Are you okay? You okay with your new son, KK? I also want to understand how you can ask this woman who's breastfeeding when she gonna be done so you can get her titties back. That, to me, mind-blowing. Because as that being your son, breast milk is the best milk because it comes from our body. God blessed us to be able to carry children and have babies and produce food for them. That's the best milk your baby can have. We have these lawsuits all the time about formula. And then it seems like every time Ashanti would give and pour into Nelly, it was never good enough for him. When she gave him that big elaborate birthday party, all he cared about was it being, it's 50, 50, 50, 50. You're 50. You're 50. Okay? And that's what they usually do at birthday parties. And she did all of that, all these extravagant things. Had Kevin Hart. Y'all can say what y'all want about Kevin Hart, but I'm sure he ain't cheap. All the people there to celebrate your birthday. And I want to think about something I remember a long time ago when they first started dating. This is alleged, just something off the top of my dome. I think I remember some of the reason they broke up was because Nelly's gambling. And I also remember allegedly that she had to loan him money to help with his gambling debt. So, yeah, you not caring the fact that she done all these things, breastfeeding, being a mother, a whole new wife, a whole new world, and all you want to go do is gamble, and you wanted to contribute to your family member being gamblers. Okay, I guess that's cute. Also, I want to say, when y'all got married in that secret ceremony that nobody knew about, that we found out about later, in St. Louis, not New York, did y'all not discuss where y'all was gonna live at? Because it's clear he's not gonna move to New York, and it's clear that she wants to be there and raise her child in New York. Even when it came down to Christmas, they were saying the previous Christmas was in St. Louis. And we saw on the episode, on the series, that again, Christmas was in St. Louis. Do y'all understand like how beautiful New York is during Christmas time? Rockefeller Center, the tree, Central Park, they do their big one. Have y'all not seen Home Alone? It's gorgeous. So y'all want to have it, and then she conceded again. Ashanti, I feel like you could have leveled up a lot more than Nelly. Maybe there was some thing, you want to get your old thing back, but how he showing himself on this TV, on this series, he didn't want no more babies. He didn't want no more babies. He didn't want to change the baby diaper. He won't wake up with the baby crying. He was complaining, talking about, oh, the baby is a terrorist. He take up the whole space. I can't get no sleep. And then one of the moments when y'all were on a tour bus, he was like, can we move all this away? The baby stuff. Can we just move all this away? And she keeps saying, like, I love my child. We love our children. Nelly, were you coerced into having another baby? Like, what happened? I remember when Ashanti first announced her pregnancy or whatever, it was some type of ad she did about in vitro or something. Was this a planned pregnancy, or this was something she wanted and y'all did the vitro and then had a baby? Because it's clearly the baby, you call him a terrorist. She couldn't even be in the confessionals like, oh, here go the terrorist. It's a baby. And then also the birthday party, and you couldn't remember, and all the stuff that she did for you. It's like she's pouring and pouring for validation from you. And it's not reciprocated at all on any terms. Then I also want to mention the black and white affair that he has in St. Louis that he's been doing obviously for many, many years. Congratulations. Beautiful gowns. But the fact that she was late getting ready, it takes a long time for a woman to get ready, especially someone as Ashanti. Your edges laid. What if she would have came out there looking a hot dang mess? And you walking around with your fan, ain't ready yet? Is she ready yet? Oh my God. Oh, Jesus, Lord. Don't call on Jesus for that. She had to get ready. She wanted to look cute for you on your event. This is still about you. I also want to talk about the fact that Nelly's a Scorpio and Ashanti's a Libra. Y'all not compatible. You're not compatible. I'm a Scorpio. I know how I am about certain things. I know when I stand firm in my word about certain things. And Libras are more about, let's put on a show. Let's be glitz and glamour. And he's not on that type of time. And I want to understand how y'all got married, had a baby, and don't know where y'all gonna stay. St. Louis is nowhere near New York. I understand she also said, like, before, she flying on planes, he want him in a bus. He's an old school rapper, want to ride the bus. But it was also like she was riding a bus to still appease you, because, baby, Ashanti could have chartered a private jet and been able to have her baby safe, away from germs, not on commercial airlines and all those things. So it's still, to me, Nelly is in this old school patriarchy, y'all know what I'm trying to say, way of thinking, not changing diapers, not getting up when the baby's crying, mad because the baby's crying, mad because the baby's stuff in his way. Can we just move all of this? Can we get out? It's your son stuff. And I also clocked how you were different with your kids that you had with the previous mother. I don't know who the previous mother was, but I saw that loving and that nurturing that you have when you have that conversation with your daughter, which is cute, versus how you treating the baby that you had with Ashanti. I just feel like, Ashanti, you're pouring too much into Nelly. Ashanti, you are Ashanti. Let's not forget now, Beyonce is Queen B. She's Queen B. But there was a point in time when Ashanti and Beyonce were on the same level. Actually, Ashanti was a little bit higher, and then Beyonce is queen mother and surpassed her. But she's still a reputable artist, and she still deserves her things. I also want to say, Nelly, does the baby on your fucking nerves? Excuse my language and pardon my freaking French. Does the baby get on your nerves? Are you not okay with the baby? Even when she said, when we have a girl, he was like, I ain't gave permission for that. I ain't gave permission to have no another baby. Girl, you married this man. You didn't know where you were going to stay. You didn't know what Christmas and holidays were going to be. This man is constantly throwing jabs at y'all's. Yes, I'm pulling out my Texas slang. Y'all's child. And you're okay with that, Ashanti? Huh? We're okay with that? We're okay with that? We're okay with like Nelly having all these little innuendos, calling your child terrorist, annoyed by his stuff that needs to be there, milk pumping, all the things. And he wants his titties back. He wants you to stop breastfeeding. You okay with that, Ashanti? Like, Ashanti, you're that girl, okay? Ashanti, remember who you are. Remember who you are. In the words of Angela Bassett from Wakanda. Tell them who you are. Nelly, to me, is just a washed up rapper from the early 2000s. If you want to ask me. I still listen to Ashanti's albums. I can't tell you one Nelly album I bought. Her first album, all it. No skips. And then I want to get to Nelly performing for the person that sits in the White House. I'm just going to always refer to that person that sits in the White House. Did y'all see how his wife didn't want to kiss him yesterday? I was cringing. Yeah. And you compare that to pro-choice. Oh, we want to talk about pro-choice. It's my choice. And when I saw Ashanti's face and her mother's face and them giving us background on how her mother's family was a part of the civil rights activists, they weren't okay with that. And the fact that y'all are married with a child now, your decision to go perform at that man's inaugural ball has now affected her. We saw the tweet, But I never thought that if you clock it, look at her body language. When they was in the kitchen, you was like, you could tell like she was like, I don't think he gonna really do it. And her mama was like, well, I hope, I hope he don't. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not good. And he was like, well, I still respect her. If he gonna be pro-choice, she be my pro-choice, and my family was a military family. That does not, you cannot equate the two together. Someone saying pro-choice, Nelly, did you graduate high school? Nelly, means the right over my body and my autonomy. You choosing to go perform at an inaugural ball for that person that sits in the White House is not the effing same. And I cringed and I burned inside and outside my soul. I know he just did not compare my body, my choice to go and perform and get some coins. Because that's what happened. And Nelly, you wanted to say, oh, it can help these different different things that he has, these nonprofits that he has to help him escalate those by performing there. Has it happened? Because that man done already fell out with his main homeboy. We know who we talking about. I ain't got to say it. So you think at the inaugural ball was going to help nonprofits in scholarships? No. So Nelly, it obviously shown me, Nelly and Ashanti, it showed me not only can y'all get along, y'all have no reconciliation of where y'all gonna live at, how y'all gonna parent, his political views versus your political views. because you got sucked into it. And Nelly, I noticed that you were not at the BET Awards. Because you was a part of the house husband and Kevin Hart, long story short, quick story, long heart, whatever short. Did, you know, you were a part of that and you weren't there? Yeah. It didn't hit like you thought it was going to hit, right? Yeah, I thought so. Don't ever compare a woman's choice to you taking a political stance. Oh, you know, he had already won. And I respect the house, the person that's in the house where the slaves built that house. Let's be clear. And you could clearly see Ashanti was uncomfortable. She didn't even want to answer the question. I didn't even have to ask Ashanti to know Ashanti to say to Ashanti that she was not in agreement with that. And when you're married and you're making such a political stance, and y'all both huge public figures, y'all need to talk about that. And you did it anyway. You did it anyway. And you and Snoop, I don't F with y'all no more because of that. I want to say also too, Ashanti's mother gives Kris Jenner, but still being a mother. Kris Jenner be like, run it up, watch it not fall out. She wants the money. I'm sorry. I feel like Kris Jenner care more about the money than she do about kids sometimes. Excuse me. That's my opinion. Ashanti's mother is still her manager, but she's still a mother. And she says that all throughout the episode. I'm a mother and I'm a manager. And she reminds me, Ashanti, you got these contracts, you got these things you're doing. But she understands Ashanti's a fresh mother. She understands getting back on that stage. Her body ain't body. You know, we saw Ashanti, how her body was natural. No BBLs, nothing nowhere. Look good, sick. Now she has a baby and she's feeling like a little insecure about herself. And also probably about her performing. I saw at the BET Awards. I like Ashanti's mother. I'm glad Ashanti has a manager mother the way she does, because she know when it's time to be mother and she knows when it's time to be manager. And I like that about this whole series of Ashanti's mother. Even though sometimes she had to push her a little bit, like, girl, like, legally we didn't sign these contracts, but I understand. I get that. I also like Ashanti's response to Irv Gotti. Before Irv Gotti, may he rest in peace, passed away, he was almost fixated on Ashanti in every single interview. He can keep her name out of his mouth. I love her response. That was a very classy based response, Ashanti, and I'm glad that you did that way. I'm glad that they showed how it was when he was still alive and you did your Angela Martinez interview, and after his passing, how you did your, and you did that very classy based way. You're a classy based woman. Honestly, if you wouldn't been fooling around with Irv Gotti and Murder Inc. and all them heifers, maybe you would be up there with Beyonce. Girl, baby, that whole album, that first album, fire. 10, 10, 10s across the board. No, let's not get it twisted. I am a Queen Bee stan, but I feel like they are both women who came up in the game under the construct of these big, powerful men who wanted to navigate their career. Beyonce had her daddy for a long time, but Ashanti, you know, had to lean on Irv, to the fact where Jennifer Lopez was stealing her music, stealing her vocals. Ursula. Yes, Jennifer Lopez is Ursula. But I love her classy base way. The ending of that I want to say about this show is I am glad they gave us the real and no fakeness. We see Nelly don't want to be a daddy no more, obviously. We see Ashanti constantly looking for her for validation and things and wanting and giving. He don't even want to wear his MF. That was at Lorraine Schwartz, y'all. Do y'all know who Lorraine Schwartz is? She does all the custom made jewelry for everybody you could think of. Name them. And he don't even want to wear his wedding ring. They had a debate about that. And you just, Ashanti, well, you know, girl, Ashanti, know who you are. Know who you are. You are talented. You are beautiful. You do not have to settle with this man. If you want to have Christmas in New York with your son, girl, I've been like, guess what? You could be in St. Louis, but me and my baby, who you don't even want to wake up and change diapers for, who you don't even want to get up when he crying, we gonna be in New York with my family. Figure it all out. That would have been my stance. And I also want to say,